Pick by Bernard Riedhammer. Fade in. Interior, Ian's house, bathroom, day. Ian Harper, 30s, boxers and t-shirt, fills a bath with hot water. He puts his hand in to test the temperature and retracts it quickly, shooting an angry look at the tub. He grabs the hairdryer, tries to reach the edge of the tub, but the cable is too short. He unplugs the dryer, plugs in a curling iron. Still can't reach the tub. Ian stares at the iron. Eye rolls. Exterior, Jeff's house, day. Ian, still in his boxers and t-shirt, stands in front of his next-door neighbor, Jeffrey, 40s.
Thanks.
Ian holds an extension cord.
Hey, you want to come over later? We're making original tagliatelle bolognese.
I'm kind of busy right now.
Oh. Okay. See you around.
Ian makes a beeline back to his property, which is separated by a bed of roses. His shirt gets ripped on a thorn. Without acknowledging it, he continues to his weed-infested lawn, then into his house. Interior, Ian's house, bathroom, day. Ian plugs in the extension, places the curling iron near the tub. He exhales deeply, summoning all his strength. He climbs in the tub, stands there, reconsidering.
What am I doing?
He grabs the shower curtain to pull himself out and accidentally wipes the extension into the tub. It tumbles into the water, but nothing happens. The circuit breaker activates with a clicking noise. Ian breathes a sigh of relief. Crack! The shower curtain rod breaks off the wall. Ian tries frantically, arms flailing, to grab a hold of anything. In vain. He crashes to the floor, wrapped in the shower curtain. Subdued moans can be heard from underneath. Interior, living room, night. A TV plays video of Ian and wife Laura Harper, 30. Friends sing Happy Birthday, Laura. Helen, 30s, Laura's best friend, delivers a cake with a 30 on top. Cheers as Laura blows out the candles and kisses Ian. Ian sits, watching in a daze. The TV screen goes dark. He stares at his own reflection for a while.
You're a loser, Ian!
Ian slowly turns toward the parrot, sitting in a cage.
Ian, you're such a loser!
Ian stares at the table in front of him. A dozen envelopes are ripped open. On the papers it reads, Payment request. Overdue notice. Final warning. The front door opens. Tom, 8, Ian's son, walks in.
Hey, buddy.
Ian gets up and gives him an emotional hug.
I missed you. You had fun at your grandparents'?
Tom starts picking his nose.
Grandpa let me play with his balls, but they were too heavy after a while, so we played computer.
That's... You shouldn't play so many video games. It's unhealthy.
Tom still picks his nose.
I'm hungry. Today is meatloaf day.
What day?
Meatloaf day.
Like pancake day.
Mom always made meatloaf on Wednesdays.
Interior, kitchen, night. On the stove are leftovers of a lost kitchen battle. Burnt potatoes, green beans, and meatloaf. Ian dumps the last slice of a delivery pizza into the bin. He stops and glances at the ancient refrigerator. A photo stuck on the door. Laura, smiling coyly. Next to her is Helen making a face, and Ian, laughing. Interior, kitchen, day. Ian prepares breakfast. Burned waffles. He opens the waffle iron and accidentally burns his hand. He hurries to the sink and holds his hand under cold water when he hears a thump from upstairs. He looks at the ceiling. Interior, Tom's bedroom, day. Ian stands in the doorway looking at something inside. Tom lies on the floor with his legs awkwardly trapped in one torn pant leg. He rolls over on his stomach, trying to free himself.
I can't get out.
Ian stares expressionlessly at him. Interior, kitchen, day. Ian rips off a big strip of duct tape. Tom stands on a chair as Ian tapes the torn pants together.
Hold still.
Everybody will see it.
You're 8. Nobody will look.
That doesn't make sense.
Trust me, duct tape jeans are totally in. Let's go.
Exterior, Ian's house, day. Ian and Tom walk toward an old car parked in the driveway.
Hey there, neighbor.
Ian turns, annoyed, and sees Jeff approaching.
Yeah, I really don't want to be a pain, but I want to power wash the deck, and the extension cord I loaned you is the only one I have with a ground fault circuit interrupter, so I can't electrocute myself, and...
While Jeff speaks, Tom gets into the back of the car.
That's why I couldn't kill myself in the bathtub.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Ian nods.
I don't know what to... that's...
Yeah.
Wait a sec.
Jeff decides not to believe Ian and laughs it off.
Yeah, big joker, you almost got me. Come here.
Jeff hugs him intensely.
Yeah, you take care now.
Ian tries to free himself.
Tom's trousers are taped, you notice?
It's vintage.
Exterior, scrapyard, day. Ian and Tom watch a car crusher crushing a wrecked car. Ian slowly drifts off. Memory flashes. A salesman opens the door of the car, hands Laura the keys, and shakes Ian's hand. Ian and Laura drive through the countryside. Ian and Laura make out in the back seat. Ian opens the door and helps Laura out, holding baby Tom. Back to scene. A loud boom from the machine jolts Ian back to reality.
Want to have your wife's box?
A scrapyard guy, 50s, approaches, holding a cardboard box covered with smiley stickers.
What?
Your wife's box was in the trunk.
Sure.
Scrapyard guy hands him the box. Interior, Ian's house, garage, day. Ian puts down the box, looks around, and sees Laura's painting equipment standing in the corner. Easel, brushes, paint, etc. He sighs. Interior, Ian's bedroom, day. Ian sleeps in bed and is awakened by a lawnmower. Ian notices Tom standing in the doorway, staring nervously, with a dark, wet spot on his PJs. Tom disappears again. The sound of the lawnmower subsides. Ian turns to the empty side of the bed. His fingers glide over the sheets.
I need you.
A moment, before Ian hears a garden shredder. Ian looks out of the window, where Jeff is shredding a tree. Ian frowns. Interior, Tom's bedroom, day. Ian strips off Tom's wet bed sheets and wipes the mattress with kitchen towels. Tom sits, embarrassed, on a chair.
I didn't know that you, were having problems again.
Tom stares to the floor. Ian stuffs the sheets, together with the towels, into a bag. He heads to the door, stops in front of Tom. He is tempted to say something comforting, but then just walks out. Interior, kitchen, day. Ian enters. He opens the garbage bag, takes a sniff, closes the bag very quickly in disgust. Ian's cell phone rings. It's Mom. He takes the call.
Hi, Mom. Uh-huh.
Ian loads the washing machine with the towels and linen.
Just listen. You try to mediate between me and Dad, which is very nice of you. I say, Mom, you're very nice, which you are. But in the end, nothing changes, because Dad won't budge an inch.
Interior, Ian's parents' house, kitchen, day. Martha, 50s, Ian's mom, sits at the table on the phone.
Are you pulling my leg? Because it sure sounds like it.
Intercut.
Do I ever make fun of you?
You can get very agitated and squinky at times, and besides, you never know if you'll have enough time left to say the things you want to say to somebody.
What's that supposed to mean?
Your father's been having heart troubles lately.
Ian rolls his eyes, knows she's lying.
Sometimes at night, when I lie on his chest, I hear his heartbeat. It beats very oddly.
Art, 60s, Ian's dad, in perfect shape, does stretches dressed in a jogging suit. Ian closes the washing machine, opens it again, and adds way too much detergent. He starts the machine.
Stop making me feel guilty. I wasn't the one who started it. And when was I ever squinky? I am not squinky.
Are you okay?
I'm trying, but I don't know how much more I can handle.
Ian's doorbell rings.
Helen is here. Gotta go.
He heads toward the door.
If you need anything, your father and I are here for you.
Thanks. I know.
He opens the door. A woman Ian doesn't recognize stands on the porch. This is Ms. Wright, 40s, lush and vigorous.
Good morning. I'm Mrs. Wright from Social Services. My condolences on your loss.
Thank you.
Ian, what did you do?
Ma, I'm hanging up now.
Don't you dare! Put me on speakerphone! I want to talk to her!
Oh, hello, to the voice from the telephone.
Ian lets her in and lights a cigarette. They sit down on the couch.
What is this about?
Mr. Harper, are you aware of the other casualty involved in your wife's car accident?
Not really. It was some Nina woman. Last I heard, she was still in a coma. Never found out why she was in the car with Laura.
Her name is Nina Robertson. You see, years ago, Mrs. Robertson was a professional hostess.
Okay.
How can I put this delicately? About 15 years ago, you engaged with her. 15 years later, you have a daughter.
Come again?
Holy cow!
You have a daughter.
Dad?
Ian!
Ian turns half around, still shell-shocked, and
Tom, go upstairs.
sees that Tom stands naked on the stairs. Tom hesitates.
I said go upstairs and put some clothes on.
Why is Tom naked?
Tom obeys and goes upstairs.
Tom's nakedness is not the issue. Let me get this straight. You claim I have a daughter I didn't know of for 15 years?
As far as I'm aware, Mrs. Robertson wanted to get an abortion, but then decided against it, and, well, her name is Joyce.
You're kidding, right? Did my father put you up to this?
Your father wouldn't do that.
Martha glances at Art, who only rolls his eyes.
Mr. Harper, this is real.
Okay. Let's assume for argument's sake everything you just said is true. She was a hooker. There must be 100 possible fathers.
She didn't become a prostitute until a year later.
Why? I mean, how can she be certain?
She told her daughter you're the father. As Joyce's legal guardian, I have an obligation to investigate this new development.
Investigate away.
This means taking a paternity test.
Wow.
Because Joyce is a minor, a judge can order you to do the test.
So, how would this work?
You mean the paternity test?
I mean, if this test turns out positive, do I have to keep her?
If it's positive, she's your daughter. That's a fact. And if you choose to waive your parental right, she'll remain in juvenile detention.
Wait, what?
You see, her mother, being a sex worker, along with her drug abuse, wasn't quite the place to bring up a child. She went slightly off the rails.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, what's that supposed to mean? Did she bust up a store, rob banks, kill anybody?
No. Just minor incidents. Nothing worth worrying about.
Gee, that's what they always say. Until one day you read in the papers, 15-year-old murdered innocent alleged father in cold blood with a nutcracker.
Ian's doorbell rings.
What is going on?
Might be another child out of wedlock.
Martha gives him a scolding look.
I know that it's a lot to digest right now, but that's how it was for Joyce. And she's such a lovely kid.
Ian heads to the door and opens. It's Helen.
Hey.
Ian's having a child!
Nobody's having anything.
Exterior, Ian's house, day. Ian and Helen head out the door. Ian carries a box with kitchen utensils.
I wasn't sowing any wild oats.
Just saying.
I didn't sow anything. I was always bad at home ec.
They head for Helen's old convertible.
How are you holding up?
I'm all right, all considering.
She opens the car, and Ian puts the box on the back seat.
You sure? Because you've been acting weird lately. And I'm not talking about today.
I don't act weird.
You're not yourself. And nobody's blaming you for it.
Weird is in the
Everybody
ballpark
copes
of being
differently.
insane. It's in the vicinity of being a whack job.
You gotta stop acting like nothing happened.
I know exactly what happened.
I didn't say you didn't.
But you were doing your messed up eye thing again, when one eye looks up and the other down. But what you're really trying to say is that I don't know what happened. But as a matter of fact, I do.
You're still drifting off in the middle of the day?
Exterior, busy street, day. Ian, daydreaming, crosses the street. Cars brake abruptly, honk their horns. Drivers curse. Ian keeps walking. Exterior, Ian's house, day. Back with Ian and Helen in front of her car.
Laura was my family too. Best friends forever.
I know.
She gives him a hug.
Take care of yourself.
Helen gets in the car.
And keep me apprised about your daughter.
There is no daughter.
Ian watches her drive away. Interior, Ian's house, Ian's bedroom, night. Ian lies in bed, restless. He switches on his bedside table light and dials a number on his cell.
Ian? What's going on?
I don't have a daughter.
Interior, Helen's apartment, bedroom, night. Helen props herself up in bed.
What?
Intercut.
I can't have a daughter. I just can't.
What do you want me to say?
Ian, you're doing the right thing not having the paternity test.
Ian, you're doing the right thing.
You're just saying that because you want me to hang up.
You do the test, you know for sure.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at.
If there's even the slightest chance that this is real, that she's your daughter, You know what to do.
I'm screwed, ain't I? Don't answer that. You want to grab some early breakfast? I really can't sleep now.
Good night, Ian.
Good night.
Both hang up. Ian lies there for a moment.
Fuck.
Interior, doctor's office, examination room, day. Ian sits on a stretcher, nervous. A nurse takes a DNA sample from his cheeks with cotton swabs, puts them in tubes, places them on a cart, and rolls away. Exterior, Ian's house, backyard, day. Super, 3 weeks later. Ian exits. He looks around suspiciously, doesn't see anybody, and gets a joint out of his pocket. In his other hand, he holds the paternity test report, honing in on one particular phrase. Probability of paternity, 99.99997%. Ian lights up the joint and takes a relieved drag, before coughing heavily, and coughing.
Not helping.
Exterior, Ian's parents' house, suburban street, day. Tom is on the porch saying goodbye to Rachel, 8. Through the open door, Ian and Martha can be seen in the hallway.
See you tomorrow.
Don't forget the math homework. Mrs. Irving's a battle axe.
I got an extension.
Why?
Because of my mom.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Interior, Ian's parents' house, day. Ian is about to leave. Martha tries to stop him.
But aren't you the least bit curious why this Nina woman was in the car with Laura in the first place?
Maybe Laura gave her a ride.
You don't believe in coincidences.
I don't know what happened, okay? I really gotta go. Tom's waiting.
Martha holds him back.
Did you make up your mind?
About what?
If Joyce is going to live with you.
It's not like buying a hot dog. It takes consideration.
Art stops in the doorway, newspaper in hand.
At some point, you have to take responsibility for your actions.
Here we go again.
You led me down in favor of this Grim Reaper. He's death incarnate.
Art points at a huge newspaper ad. Mike Cargo, 50s, a cheeky-looking guy, shakes hand with a Japanese businessman. The slogan reads, Cargo Craft, the global future for your life after.
Dad, don't go there.
It's your
don't
fault.
Go there.
I know it.
Don't.
You know it.
You're
Hell,
going
even
there.
your mom knows
Mom,
it.
he's going there.
Please stop fighting all the time.
Art grumbles and walks off.
Whatever you decide, we'll support you. But you'll do the right thing, though. I know.
Ma?
I know you will.
Ma?
I mean, you would only abandon your daughter, who's been tossed aside 1,000,000 times before by this cruel and unforgiving world.
Still thinking.
Whether you like it or not, she's your daughter. No pressure.
Interior, Ian's house, bathroom, night. Ian brushes his teeth. He looks around. Painful reminders of Laura are everywhere. Makeup, curling iron, towels with lip gloss, bathrobe hanging at the door, negligee on top of a hamper.
No pressure.
Interior, living room, day. Ian paces nervously up and down. Tom sits on the couch.
Dad?
No reaction.
Dad?
Huh?
Grandpa said that Joyce's mom was a pro.
He said that? When did he say that?
When I was last over. What was she a pro in?
Next time your grandfather says something, don't listen.
But he said I should ask you.
I bet he did. Don't mention that.
That she was a pro?
The doorbell rings. Ian heads to the door.
Don't mention it. Just stay there and don't speak.
Ian is a loser. Ah! Ian is a loser.
Quiet, or I'll make a hat out of you.
Ian opens the door.
Ah!
Ms. Wright stands in front of the door. Ian looks outside in concern.
I brought someone.
She steps aside to reveal Joyce, 15, leaning on the car, a cigarette dangling from her mouth. She's wearing leather combat boots, a short skirt, and a tank top.
Joyce!
Ms. Wright points at the cigarette. Joyce flicks it away. Ian heads out of the house. Exterior, front yard, day. Ian stops a couple of feet away from Joyce, unsure of how to proceed.
Hi, I'm Ian. I guess I'm your father.
Huh.
She shoves past Ian.
She just needs some time to adjust.
Ms. Wright heads back to her car.
Can you give me any advice?
She doesn't like authority figures. So, just be yourself.
Anything else?
Joyce's mother is at Kingston Hospital, so if you could drive Joyce down there at some point, that would be lovely.
Oh, that's great. She's still alive.
Ms. Wright gets in her car.
The diagnosis is rather bad. She's definitely going to die. Good luck.
And off she goes. Ian watches her leave for a moment before reality sinks in and he mouths, "Good luck?" Interior, Ian's house, living room, day. Ian enters and sees Joyce light up a cigarette.
Hey, no smoking inside.
Joyce glances at a full ashtray on the table. Tom sits on the couch, staring at Joyce.
I'm a grown-up. That's different.
Joyce glances at Tom.
I'm not allowed to talk.
Ian is a loser.
Can I smoke outside?
Exterior, porch, day. Joyce sits on the stairs, smoking.
I'm sure you're a nice girl. Only heard good things. And, sorry. What happened to you? With your mother, I mean.
Ian sits, feet away, smoking as well.
I prepared the spare bedroom upstairs. You can unpack, make yourself comfortable, and we can take it from there.
She flicks her cigarette onto the lawn, gets up, and goes inside.
We can take it from there?
Interior, Ian's house, kitchen, day. Ian, Tom, and Joyce are having dinner.
Dad, can I get a piercing?
No.
But Joyce has piercings everywhere. She showed me.
You're way too young to butcher your body.
She knows somebody who does it in his garage.
Check this one out.
Joyce lifts her t-shirt to reveal a belly button piercing.
After it got pierced, it became so infected that my belly button swelled to the size of an apple.
Can we please not talk about infected fruits or vegetables while we're eating?
As if it would make a difference. What's this anyway?
Sausages with mashed potatoes.
Is it supposed to look like barf?
Well, next time you can cook.
Yeah, right.
Dad?
Don't ask.
Dad?
Yes.
What's a clitoris?
Ian chokes on his food. Joyce giggles.
Eat your dinner.
But
Eat your dinner!
can I have a clitoris?
No, they're just for grown-ups.
Ian gives Joyce a withering look. Interior, Tom's bedroom, night. Ian tucks Tom in.
You didn't ask me if I brush my teeth.
Did you brush your teeth?
Yes.
Then what's the point in asking?
Mommy always asked me.
Interior, hallway, same. Joyce stands at her door, overhearing the conversation.
Tom, I'm not Mom. I do things my way. I try my best, but I'm not as good as Mom was.
Interior, Tom's bedroom, same. Ian sits down on the edge of the bed, next to Tom.
She was perfect.
How do you know?
We're talking about your mom. That's why I know.
You were never here.
That's not how it was. I had to work, so you'll have this house when you're grown up. I worked so hard so we could be a family.
I don't want a house. I want Mom. I miss her.
I know, buddy. I miss her too.
Ian gives him a kiss.
Good night.
Ian kills the light and closes the door. Interior, hallway, night. Ian exits Tom's room. Joyce watches him.
Douche.
She goes inside her room, doors banging. Exterior, Brooklyn Bridge, day. Ian's car heads inbound.
I thought about what you said last night, and we should spend more time together so we can bond and play games and stuff.
But we're just driving.
Together.
This is bull.
I'm bored.
Interior, insurance company, foyer, day. Tom and Joyce sit opposite a lavish counter. On a side table stands a fishbowl with a goldfish in it and a potted plant. Muzak warbles from the loudspeakers in the ceiling. Interior, insurance office, day. Ian sits in front of an agent, 40s.
What do you mean? My wife's life savings must be worth at least $100,000.
It was worth, let me check, 103,480.
So what's the problem?
This was until 4 months ago, before your wife took the money out.
Where's the money now?
Your wife terminated the insurance policy. That's as far as my knowledge goes.
Why would she do that?
Ian gets up, confused, ready to leave.
How much was the policy worth after the contract had been terminated?
Just under 30,000.
Ian and the agent look through the glass front into the foyer. The potted plant is ablaze. Interior, foyer, day. A secretary extinguishes the flames with a fire extinguisher. The agent and Ian hurry out of the office. He glances infuriated at Joyce as she closes her flip-top lighter. Interior, elevator, day. Ian, Tom, and Joyce ride down. Muzak is playing. Tom has the fishbowl in his hands. Ian looks over, considers saying something, but doesn't. Interior, Ian's car, day. Ian drives. Tom and Joyce sit in the back.
Dad,
What?
I need to pee.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
We'll be home in 10 minutes.
But I need a leak now.
I can't drive any faster.
If we stop, can we go for some burgers?
We're not stopping, and definitely no burgers for you.
Leak, leak, leak!
Zip it up. I'm not going to pull over. We're almost home.
Tom cries.
I'm gonna use the fishbowl.
No, you're not. And stop crying. There's no reason to cry. I'm not pulling over.
Tom cries louder.
I'll use the fishbowl.
No, you won't.
He's gonna do it.
Tom places the fishbowl on the floor.
Yes, I will.
Tom unzips his trousers.
Okay. I'm pulling over. See? I'm pulling over. Don't harm the fish.
Interior, Ian's car, side of the road, day. Ian waits impatiently in the car. Tom relieves himself in the distance. Ian stares back at Joyce through the rearview mirror.
Hey, you wanted me to come along.
Couldn't you have just not burned that plant?
I felt a burning desire.
No more burning, ever.
Ian looks over to Tom, who still relieves himself.
Oof. He really needed to go badly.
Interior, Ian's house, living room, day. Joyce heads to the door. Ian sits on the couch, the table piled with insurance policies and bills.
Where do you think you're going?
To it's none of your business.
Well, none of your business is right here because you're grounded.
I said I'm sorry.
No, you didn't.
Joyce sighs, goes over to Ian.
Please. It's about my mom.
Okay. I'll give you a lift to the hospital.
Joyce looks around, tries to think of something. She spots a picture wall. Ian, Laura, and Tom together.
I want to feel close to her. That's why I want to bring her something special from the trailer. If she wakes up, she'll know that I was there.
That's so thoughtful. I'll grab my jacket.
Wait, that's not necessary.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm not.
She opens the door and sees something outside.
What's with the giant moron?
They both see Jeff, putting on protective skater gear.
Oh, that's Jeffrey.
I don't know if he looks like a Jeff, but definitely crazy.
Jeff climbs up a ladder in front of a giant rollerblade half-pipe standing in his front yard.
Can he just get a Porsche like a normal goofball having a midlife crisis?
They watch Jeff skillfully ride down the half-pipe. Exterior, trailer park, day. Ian and Joyce get out of Ian's car. She leads the way to a rundown trailer.
You grew up around here?
Not really.
Joyce tries the door, but it's locked.
What's that supposed to mean?
You want to know? No more house arrest.
She looks for a key under a flower pot, a rug, kicks away stones, but no luck.
I'll reduce it to 3 days, but no more mischief, okay?
Sure.
She tries one of the wheel housings, then the second one. A key is taped to the inside.
I bounced around between foster homes until I was 12. When my mom got clean for a while, she got custody again, and we moved into the trailer park. End of story.
She goes inside. Ian follows. Interior, trailer, day. It's a marijuana jungle. Dozens of potted plants.
This is quaint.
Joyce scans the place. She looks into different marijuana pots, scoops away dirt.
What are you looking for?
Something special.
She retrieves a wad of cash from underneath the soil, hiding it from Ian.
Gotta go.
We just got here.
She heads to the door, looks out of the window, sees a tall man in a hoodie, Freddy, 19, head towards the trailer.
Let's take them back.
Why?
Ian sees Freddy.
This isn't your mother's trailer, is it?
We really should go. Now.
Joyce tries the back door. It's locked. She opens a window, climbs out.
What are you doing?
What does it look like?
She jumps out.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay.
She sprints off. The trailer door opens. Freddy sees Ian.
I can explain.
Freddy charges at him.
Or not.
Ian dives clumsily out of the window, head first. He crashes into a bed of roses, rips his shirt on a thorn, and loses one shoe.
Ugh, all these roses.
Ian sprints off. Exterior, trailer park, day. Ian trudges through a muddy area.
Oh, yeah, don't worry, Ian. She'll be lovely. The joy of fatherhood.
Ian steps in a massive puddle. He looks up. Joyce glances out from inside a trailer. Interior, Nina's trailer, day. Ian heads inside. Joyce bursts into laughter as she sees his disheveled appearance.
Yeah, very funny. Who was that guy?
Just Freddy. Don't worry about him. He's actually really nice.
You tell me right now what the hell's going on.
My mom owed him money. He wanted it back from me.
So you stole it from him?
Just to give it back. Relax, I know what I'm doing.
Ian glances out of the window.
You're afraid, aren't you?
No.
Ian glances out again.
I really came here to find something for my mother, so will you just relax?
She pretends to search and takes a photo album from a drawer.
See? Nostalgia and shit.
Joyce opens the photo album and looks at pictures of her mother and her when she was little. Well, and happy.
It's sad that people have to live like that.
Like what?
Like that.
Actually, it wasn't that bad.
She closes the photo album.
I'm out of here.
Hold on. You're still grounded.
You let me go now, and I'll be on my best behavior when we visit your parents later. No more burning. You remember?
Ian sighs and gives her permission. Joyce leaves with the photo album in hand. Exterior, Freddy's trailer, day. Joyce knocks on the door. Freddy and Brad, 18, two stoner kids, open.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. They let you out?
Does a round peg fit into a square hole?
Freddy and Brad look at each other, clueless.
So what's up?
Some old dude stole my stash.
No shit.
Yeah.
Lucky I'm here then.
She shows him the cash.
Money, 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 money. Money.
Oh, you're a lifesaver. How much you want?
You know, I have a way better idea what to do with the money.
Better than weed?
Exterior, TV studio, backlot, day. A fierce gunfight between two rival gangs rages on a set. Ian and Helen walk outside the cordoned-off area.
Doesn't make any sense that Laura would terminate her life insurance.
Maybe she wanted to surprise you with something.
Laura wouldn't have just squandered the money like that. She knew we needed every penny for the house.
I thought you wouldn't have gotten the money from the life insurance anyway. Only if she dies.
That's not the point. The point is the money's vanished. It's not in our bank accounts, and to be honest with you, I don't know where else to look.
Maybe she had another bank account?
Whoa, why would she? Do you know something?
No, Ian. I'm just brainstorming.
They don't speak for a moment.
I'm going to quit. Did I tell you?
What do you mean you're going to quit? You love being floor manager.
I loved making documentaries. This is just money.
It's good money, and you're part of something special.
Ian looks to the set, where three men in oversized bear costumes attack the rival gang members, who fall theatrically to the ground.
I wish I could just walk away.
What's the problem? You're smart. Still the handsome man I met in college.
Thanks.
They share a moment.
I can't just try something else. I'm responsible now.
So what?
You wouldn't understand. You don't have kids.
Ian realizes that he shouldn't have said that.
I'm sorry. I didn't think.
No, you're right. I don't have kids. I gotta go back to my well-paid job now.
Helen heads toward the entrance of the production building.
Helen, please. I'm sorry.
The door shuts in front of his nose.
Nice going. Next time you should insult her intelligence, too. Ugh.
Interior, TV studio, Helen's office, day. Ian knocks at the open door.
Peace, please.
Helen sits at her desk, scheduling the next day.
I brought you a peace offering.
Ian hands her a coffee and a Danish.
You're a butt munch.
Helen, I'm sorry. You know me. I didn't mean it. And since when have you been so sensitive about personal things?
I was looking into adoption.
She shows him an adoption catalog.
I didn't know. But I'm happy for you. I mean, that's great, really.
Laws are tight, so chances are pretty slim.
Well, you'll manage. You always did. And if I can do anything, just let me know.
Thanks.
Ian glances at a picture on the wall. It's the same one as on Ian's fridge. Laura, Ian, and Helen together.
We were having a big fight last time we were together. Laura was so angry.
She knew how you felt about her.
Interior, Ian's house, living room, day. Ian sits on the couch watching Laura's birthday tape. In the video, Laura is surrounded by friends. Ian films. Laura blows out the candles on the cake. Friends cheer and applaud.
Now where are my presents? I'm not getting any younger.
This is from Samantha and me.
Laura unpacks it. It's a book about Italian women painters.
How did you know? Aw, that's so thoughtful.
Okay. Now mine. I'm next.
Somebody is excited.
Helen vanishes for a moment and comes into frame again with a wooden easel.
I knew your old one broke when Ian moved it around. So, surprise!
Thank you. You're the best. That's so sweet of you.
They hug and kiss. End video. Ian blinks, and as he blinks again, he is... Exterior, Ian's house, day. Ian stands in the middle of the street, daydreaming. A car approaches rapidly, but before Ian can react, he gets yanked back and lands on top of Jeff. wearing his protective skater gear. Ian snaps out of it. The car drives by. The driver shakes his head at Ian.
You all right there?
Ian looks around, confused.
You seemed a bit lost.
What happened?
Jeff helps Ian up.
Well, you're in the middle of the road, frozen like a snowman.
Thanks. I must have sleepwalked or something.
Jeff points to the half-pipe.
Want to give it a try?
Nah.
Come on, I'll help clear your head.
No, I couldn't do that.
Why not? I'm the klutz here. If I can do it, you sure as hell can.
Exterior, Jeff's house, day. Ian stands on the half-pipe, fully protected and scared out of his mind.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Now, you chicken out or what? Here he comes. Here he comes. Ian Harper is in the house. Wow, wow, wow.
Ian rolls slowly down and up again, without falling. He smiles, proud.
Awesome. Now I'll show you a couple of badass moves.
Ian's smile vanishes. Interior, Ian's parents' house, living room, night. Dinner's finished. Art, Martha, Ian, Joyce, and Tom sit around the dinner table.
Mom, for the love of God, I've apologized now 12 times.
All I'm saying is you could have called. You got a phone, don't you?
Yes, I have a phone. Sorry for being a half an hour late. I was busy.
You're always so busy. He was doing a 360. He was doing what? What is that?
It's a move.
Oh, you dance now?
No, it's something skaters do. I turned 360 degrees.
And then what?
Nothing, that's it.
That's it? And you couldn't call? You know, sometimes sorry just doesn't cut it, Ian.
Dad, don't. I've come in peace.
I want ice cream. Where's dessert?
We don't have dessert.
We don't? Jesus.
Calm down. What's the matter with you?
Joyce watches the bickering with joy.
Actually, what I really want is justice. But I settled for ice cream. And now I can't even have vanilla ice cream with cream on top?
What's going on?
Cargo craft.
This crook is going through with his merger with those tiny Japanese folks, and hundreds of hard-working men will be left with just their dicks in their hands.
Dad!
And I bet Mike Cargo is getting his ice cream, too.
I'll have a look. There might still be some leftovers.
And you know what the worst thing is? You still work for him. Cargo Craft will outsource everything. That's what he'll do. Outsourcing is our new Vietnam. I'm telling you, you're in Vietnam, Ian. You have been outsourced.
Who wants some ice cream?
Joyce and Tom raise their hands. Martha heads into the kitchen.
And just for the record, I didn't ruin my company. It was the economy. And because you weren't even man enough to carry your own dick in your hands.
That's a lot of dicks.
Interior, kitchen, night. Martha scoops ice cream. She's crying. Ian enters, and she tries to hide the tears from him.
Mom, are you crying?
No.
Yes, you are. What's the matter?
Nothing.
Tell me. It's me, Ian.
Everything's the matter.
Ian takes the spoon from her.
Let me do the scooping. You can do the talking,
Exterior, backyard, night. Art sits in his chair, reading the newspaper and smoking a cigar. Ian exits, sits down next to him.
Mom told me what's going on, that you're fighting a lot lately.
Art grumbles.
You have to make up with her.
Keep out of it. That's none of your business.
Okay, I just wanted to help.
You couldn't even take care of your own marriage, so don't lecture me on mine.
Interior, Ian's parents' house, living room, night. Joyce, Tom, and Martha are at the table, eating ice cream.
I'm sorry you had to witness that. What's all the fuss about, anyway? After Art lost his job at Cargo Craft, he tried to open his own carpenter shop.
Martha looks out the terrace door. Art and Ian can be seen arguing.
Ian promised Art to partner up with him, but then he bailed weeks before the opening. That's kind of a dick move. Art never really forgave him for that.
Art barges in, followed by Ian.
Dad, stop. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not about the refrigerator.
You sure?
Oh, please, God. Did Laura tell you that? Did Laura talk to you about the fridge?
Laura didn't talk about your fridge. That would have been way too personal.
What fridge? It's a metaphor.
It's not.
For not having enough money.
We could use a new fridge.
You want to know why your marriage went down the drain?
Dad, I respect you, but you're crossing a line.
Laura was the best thing that ever happened to you, but you didn't realize that.
Don't do it. You're crossing the line.
Is that so? Where's the line?
Ian points to the floor.
Right there. Don't cross that friggin' line, Dad.
It's still my house. There are no lines in my house.
Art crosses the line.
Please, you both.
You're insulting me every time you come to this house. You bring an aura of insultment with you.
How do I insult you? I was just minding my own business.
I did everything for you, and you just take that for granted.
Ma, get the silverware out. He's doing his how much I owe him speech.
You can say what you want. I worked my ass off, so you didn't have to worry about anything.
Okay, I'm sick and tired of listening to this. We're going. Now.
Tom gets up. Joyce heads to the door.
Bye, Mom.
Ian kisses Martha on the cheek.
Please stay.
Ian goes a couple of steps, but something still bugs him.
Just out of curiosity, what insight do you have into my marriage? Why did my marriage break apart?
Ian, let it go.
No, I want to know what Dad thinks he knows about Laura and me.
Please.
He wants to know the truth.
I was a good husband.
That's not what Laura told me.
You talked to Laura about me?
Yes, Ian. I talked to my daughter-in-law. She was a mess, but you didn't see that.
Ian looks at his mother. She looks away.
You knew that Laura talked about me? Why didn't you tell me? How often did she talk about me?
Once or twice, maybe 3 times. 4 or 5 times tops. Possibly 6 or 7.
Seriously?
Now, you're not exactly a role model, okay?
Sometimes you can be a bit out of control.
How could you do this to me? What did I ever do to you? How could you?
She wasn't happy.
God!
Ian, calm down.
You're scaring me.
Ian paces up and down, hands at his head.
Son, you need to calm down.
This is too much. I don't get it. This is just too much. God, why? I just don't get it.
Ian turns to look at everybody, devastated and tear-eyed. Art tries to touch his shoulder, but Ian wrestles himself free.
Get off of me!
Ian accidentally hits Art on the nose. It starts to bleed.
Uh-oh. Ian!
Ian runs past his mother out the door.
Ian!
Exterior, street, night. Ian paces down the street. He stops, out of breath, tears streaming down his cheeks. Interior, Ian's parents' house, living room, night. Art sits down in his armchair with a whiskey in his hand and 2 cotton balls sticking out of his nostrils. He peeks out of the window, where he sees Ian and Martha sit on the porch. Interior, Ian's car, night. Tom and Joyce sit in the car, parked in the driveway.
Were you scared?
I bet.
You should get something out of this. You've got some leverage here.
Leverage?
You want to know what a bargaining chip is?
Exterior, Ian's parents' house, night. Ian sits next to Martha on the porch.
I don't want to see you like this.
Ian rests his head against her shoulder.
If you don't get help, you'll lose your family. You'll lose Tom and Joyce. We are here, and Laura, she isn't anymore. There's no easy way.
Ian realizes she is right. Nods slightly. Martha kisses him on the forehead.
You think you can take care of them at the moment? 2 kids are a challenge, even without losing someone. Your dad and I could take them for a while.
I'll be all right, thanks. How's Dad?
Oh, he'll never shut up about it, but he'll be fine.
I better go talk to him.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Interior, Ian's house, Tom's bedroom, night. Ian tucks Tom in, who acts distant.
I'm sorry for what happened today.
Tom looks away.
What do you say we spend the whole day tomorrow together? We could go for a swim, or maybe play football?
I have school.
Right.
And I don't like football.
Why? You used to like football.
I don't like it.
What do you like then?
Tom points at his blanket, covered with baseballs.
Okay. We will go to a game sometime soon.
Ian heads for the door.
Dad?
Interior, Dr. Green's office, waiting room, day. Ian is in mid-conversation with a man and woman, both in their 30s.
Can you believe it? Honestly?
The man and the woman look at each other, confused.
I mean, my son wants a puppy. That's crazy. I'm not crazy, but that's crazy, right?
Dr. Green, a psychiatrist in his 40s, peeks in through the open door.
Mr. Harper.
Interior, Dr. Green's office, day. Ian sits opposite Dr. Green.
What do you think happened with your marriage?
I know exactly what happened.
Okay. Why don't you tell me?
Simple. Everything was good.
Tell me a little bit about your job.
I've been a carpenter for almost 10 years. Went to cargo craft after college.
You studied carpentry?
I majored in architecture, but I was always working as a carpenter over the summers with my dad.
Why did you stay?
I needed a safe job after Tom was born.
You like being a carpenter?
I make a living, that's what counts.
How often did you and Laura have sex?
What?
How often did you sleep with your wife?
I'm not going to answer that. But if you really want to know, we were humping each other constantly.
And how often was that?
What's wrong with you? Why are you so interested in how I did my wife?
I want you to do something for me before you come to our next session. Think about the last time you and Laura had fun together. When you made her laugh, when you were talking the entire night, when you were only thinking about her. Tell me about that moment.
I can tell you right now.
Think about it. For next time.
Interior, Ian's house, Joyce's bedroom, night. Ian barges in.
Hey, don't you knock?
Joyce and Tom stand together at the window, obviously hiding something.
Sorry. What are you up to?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Okay. It's time for bed.
But Dad...
No discussion.
Tom goes to the door. Ian gives him a kiss on the forehead.
And brush your teeth. All of them.
Tom leaves. Joyce sits down on her bed.
How are you holding up?
Good.
I mean, about the whole situation with your mom.
Ian sits down next to her.
I tried to remember her. We were maybe together for a month. She was nice back then.
If you say so.
You should visit her.
Don't you get it? My mom was with your wife the day of the accident, for a reason.
How do you know?
My mom called me up a couple of weeks earlier, told me that crazy story about you being my father, and that she wanted to meet and squeeze Laura for money.
Laura knew about you?
Your dad was right. Your marriage must have been colossally in the tank if your wife went behind your back about this one.
What are you talking about?
Dude, she got a hair sample from you. She'd already confirmed that I'm your daughter before she met with my mother. Otherwise, your wife would never have agreed to a meeting.
Well, why wouldn't Laura tell me?
She didn't want me to meet you and grow up with you.
Ian gets up, walks a couple of steps.
She told my mom that I shouldn't have to live with a father like you, but here I am.
You're lying.
Whatever. Why should I lie about something that doesn't even make any difference anymore? I'm the reason your wife kicked the bucket. Now tell me again why I should visit my mom.
Interior, Ian's bedroom, night. Ian lies in bed, contemplative. Interior, Joyce's bedroom, night. Joyce sits on the bed, engrossed in her thoughts. She glances over to her bedside table at the photo album she retrieved from Nina's trailer. She opens the album. There are 6 sealed envelopes in it. On every one it reads, "For Joyce." She takes one of the envelopes, rips it open, reads. Interior, Helen's apartment, night. Helen sits in front of a computer, watching a self-made documentary. Random people interviewed on the street.
You ask me if I'm happy? Oh, I guess so.
Interior, Ian's house, Joyce's bedroom, night. Joyce reads through the second letter. Certain words and phrases pop out. If I could change anything, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Regret. Forgive me. Remorse.
I have a wife and 3 adorable kids.
Exterior, street, night. Ian strolls along, deep in thought.
Don't know if you want to call it happiness, but I'm doing all right.
Interior, Ian's house, Joyce's bedroom, night. Joyce sits in bed, which is covered with open letters and envelopes. She reads another letter. Interior, Dr. Green's office, day. Ian sits in a chair in front of Dr. Green.
Do you want me to punch you? Because that's what's going to happen if you keep pushing it. Until hello fist.
Why are you getting so upset?
Interior, Ian's house, Joyce's bedroom, night. Joyce puts down the letters. She stares at the last words. Love, Mom. Interior, Dr. Green's office, day. Ian paces up and down in front of Dr. Green.
I mean, our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was far from dysfunctional.
Why is it so hard for you to even consider the possibility that your love wasn't enough anymore? That you two had reached a point where you look at each other and you just know that it's over?
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Ian storms out, door banging. Exterior, cemetery, night. Ian walks up to Laura's grave. He stands there and can't hold it in any longer. He starts to sob. Exterior, street, day, night. Documentary footage. A lesbian couple.
It's always been a fight and it always will be.
Stop being so serious all the time. She's always so serious.
I'm seriously in love with you.
An angry man.
I just got sacked. You know how that feels? Like a big bag of horse shit.
Interior, Helen's apartment, night. Helen still watches the documentary.
Yes, I'm happy.
Helen turns off the video, engrossed in thoughts. Interior, Ian's car, day. Ian drives, Joyce rides shotgun.
It's a brave thing you're doing. It can't be easy seeing her again.
She's in a coma. She can't really do anything.
There's still a chance that she senses you're there.
What should I say?
What you always wanted to say to her, but never did.
Ian pulls into the hospital parking lot and turns off the engine.
I'll be 1 floor down if you need me.
Interior, hospital, urologist's office, day. Ian sits in front of a urologist, 60s.
What am I supposed to do?
There are therapy options. In a lot of cases, the body isn't able to produce enough of the hormone vasopressin, which is responsible for reducing the amount of production of urine at night. There's a replacement hormone called demopressin, which could do the trick.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
However, this can cause side effects, such as headaches, nausea, stomach aches, vomiting, seizures, and even edema in the brain.
Oh.
There are some helpful tools, such as the ringing underpants, which has a built-in fluid sensor. As soon as the kid starts to become incontinent, it rings a bell. Well, not a bell, per se. It produces one of those beeping sounds, you know? Beep, 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 beep. Anyway, it's not a permanent solution because after a while, the kid's body starts to get accustomed to the beeping and just sleeps through it.
Uh-huh.
First of all, I want to stress, there is no one to blame here. Boys tend to have urinary incontinence, specifically nocturnal enuresis, 4 times as often as girls, sometimes inherited from their father.
I was not a bedwetter.
I didn't say that.
Ian clears his throat.
How do we proceed?
Tom needs to wear a diaper.
He's not going to do that.
You have to persuade him.
You have no idea. Sometimes I just want to...
He mimes strangling somebody.
Mr. Harper, you have to strengthen his self-esteem. Praise your son when he doesn't wet his bed, and let him help to dispose his own diaper. It's part of the learning process. Most importantly, he needs to know that you understand his problem.
Okay. Got it.
Interior, urologist's office, reception, day. Urologist and Ian walk out of the office to the desk, behind which 2 hot receptionists sit. In the waiting area, there are several patients, including a girl, 5, and her mother, 30s. Urologist hands Ian a bedwetting brochure.
Thanks.
Ian does his best to hide it from the onlookers and begins to leave.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, to have urinary incontinence.
Ian turns back, embarrassed. In the background, the mother whispers something to her girl.
Sure. Thanks.
Ian reaches for the push bar of the glass door to open.
Even at a later age.
Ian freezes, as if to contemplate punching the urologist. The girl sitting beside her mother addresses Ian.
My mommy says you pee your pants.
Interior, hospital, Nina's room, day. Joyce's mother, Nina, late 30s, lies in bed, comatose, hooked to life support machines. Joyce watches her from the distance until she finally comes closer. She scrutinizes her, watching the patient monitor. She's not ready to say anything and hurries out. Interior, hospital, day. Ian walks down the hall. He sees a doctor tell a husband and his young daughter the terrible news. They cry. Ian stares at them, overwhelmed. Joyce charges around the corner and sees Ian standing there. She realizes what's happening.
Ian! Ian! Dad!
Ian snaps out of it.
You okay?
Peachy.
They walk to the exit.
You okay?
Why wouldn't I be?
They exit.
You called me Dad.
Shut up.
Interior, Ian's car, day. Ian drives. Joyce is next to him. She looks over, sees that Ian is still deep in thought.
Do you like orange juice?
What?
Orange juice? The orange stuff you drink?
Yeah, sure.
But if you couldn't have it, you wouldn't die, right?
I guess.
First time I bought a bottle of OJ, I felt so terrible just having spent the money. After a while, it didn't feel so bad. A little while later, didn't feel guilty throwing away half a bottle. You get used to anything, no matter what.
OJ.
No pulp, though. Total ball buster.
Thanks.
Trying to connect, he bumps her shoulder.
What was that?
Nothing.
Better be.
Joyce looks out of the window, sees 4 teenagers in a brand new car speeding by.
You know, if I had my own car, you wouldn't have to drive me everywhere.
I like to drive.
Ian pulls into his driveway. On the back seat are a pack of diapers.
You're not getting a car. We don't have the money right now.
Ian opens the garage door with a remote. Halfway up, the door stops with a horrible screeching noise. Ian waits, looks at his watch, and waits some more.
Come on.
He gets out of the car, grabs the diapers from the back seat, and crawls underneath the half-open door into the garage. Joyce gets out of the car, walks to the house, and opens the front door. She enters. Interior, Ian's house, Tom's bedroom, day. Tom throws the diaper bag against the wall. He's on the verge of crying.
Tom, please, what do you want me to do?
Just leave me alone.
Be reasonable.
I'm 8.
Well, can you at least meet me halfway? Halfway isn't unreasonable.
I'm not going to do it.
Yes, you will, mark my words.
Interior, hallway, day. Ian exits Tom's room and looks infuriated down the hall. Heavy metal music blasts out of Joyce's room. Interior, Joyce's bedroom, day. Ian barges in and sees Joyce lie on her bed, typing away on her cell.
Is there a reason for this?
This is a dump.
Never mind.
Ian turns off the music and rushes back to the door. He stops, having an idea.
Joyce, how have you been? How are you? We haven't really been talking since you're here. You and Tom seem to get along very well, right? I mean, he's your brother after all, and you're his big sister.
What do you want?
It's about his little problem. I thought maybe...
I'll do it. I'll talk to him.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Joyce heads to the door.
That was easy. Seriously?
Like you said, he's my little brother.
Joyce heads out the door.
Okay then.
Interior, Tom's bedroom, day. Joyce wears an oversized jacket, while Tom reaches into one of the pockets from behind.
You want to make sure that nobody's catching on to what you're doing. Always be aware of your surroundings.
Okay.
Pickpocketing is a craft, something you have to practice as much as possible to get better at.
Like being a carpenter.
Yeah, something like that.
Joyce glances over to the diaper bag.
Have you been on a class trip yet?
Tom shakes his head.
You can really look forward to that. My first class trip was to a shitty campsite in Montana. I loved every minute of it. Marshmallows on the campfire, telling scary horror stories, sneaking out and staying up all night.
But what if I don't want to stay overnight?
Well, that's going to be a problem. You don't want to miss out on your first class trip, do you?
Tom shakes his head.
You miss your mom, huh?
Tom nods.
Do you miss your mom?
It's complicated. You had meatloaf day every Wednesday. I didn't have meatloaf day.
That sucks. Can you show me some more tricks?
Sure, bud. Under one condition, I can.
Interior, upstairs hallway, day. Ian heads towards Tom's room, knocks on the door.
One moment.
A moment.
Come in.
Interior, Tom's bedroom, day. Ian enters. Joyce and Tom sit inconspicuously on the side of the bed, looking at Ian.
What are you two always up to?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, keep it up. And?
She gives him the thumbs up. Exterior, Ian's house, day. Ian pushes Tom out of the door, who carries a plastic bag with a diaper in it.
Come on.
Tom walks towards the bin.
The neighbors are looking.
No, they aren't. They don't give a shit. I mean, they don't care. Go.
Tom disposes the diaper into the bin. Comes back.
That wasn't so hard, now was it?
I hate you.
Attaboy.
Ian looks up at the house, hearing music blast out of one of the upstairs windows. Interior, Ian's house, Joyce's bedroom, day. Joyce, in a frenzy, empties out her closet and throws all her clothes to the floor. Heavy metal music blasts from an old stereo system. Ian storms in.
Turn it down!
Joyce continues throwing her clothes to the floor.
I said, turn it down!
Can't hear you.
She goes to the bed and rips off her bedsheets, throws them to the floor.
What the hell are you doing? Joyce, I swear, just stop!
She glares at him. Ian turns off the stereo system.
What are you doing?
Who the hell has CDs?
She throws a stack of CDs to the floor.
Joyce!
Do you hate me?
What?
Do you hate me?
How? No, God, why would you think that? I don't hate you.
She continues throwing stuff. Ian grabs her by the shoulders.
Joyce, please, talk to me.
This isn't my room. It's a dump where you keep all your useless junk. It was never my room. CDs? Really?
There's an old foosball table in the corner. Next to it, an iron board and a dozen cardboard boxes stacked next to each other.
I didn't think about that.
You think?
I'm sorry, you're right. But why didn't you say something earlier?
Because you're all warm and fuzzy and not at all self-absorbed.
We can fix this. Anything you want.
Anything?
Why don't we start by getting rid of the boxes, the foosball table, the map, the shoes?
I like the shoes.
Let's keep the shoes.
I need new clothes.
Okay.
And a new cell.
Let's not get carried away.
And a car.
Not getting a car.
Interior, clothes shop, day. Ian and Joyce are at the checkout, 2 bags of clothes in their hands.
But why?
I've told you before, we don't have the money.
Credit card or cash?
Cash.
Interior, Ian's house, Joyce's bedroom, day. Ian and Joyce redecorate.
I've really been pulling my weight around the house. Cleaning, doing the dishes, vacuuming the shit out of the carpet. And I helped out with Tom.
Exterior, street, day. Tom stands at a corner, observing Joyce studying a map together with a tourist. Joyce, with sunglasses and a baseball cap drawn deep into her face, gives direction to the tourist. Her fingers reach into his back pocket and retrieve his wallet.
That's true. You've been a great influence on him.
Interior, Ian's house, living room, day. Ian sits on the couch. Joyce stands next to him.
Wouldn't it be nice if I could help out even more, like picking up Tom or getting something nice for you? You deserve it.
Still not getting a car.
He picks up utility bills from the table, shows it to Joyce.
Why don't you get a second job or a raise? Everybody's getting raises these days.
Sure, I just waltz into my boss's office.
That's the spirit, standing up for yourself.
If I walk any taller, I'd be the Rock.
Come on, you knock, walk in, tell your boss you're the man. What's the worst that can happen?
Interior, carpenter shop, Mike Cargo's office, day. Mike Cargo, 50s, sits behind his desk, looking confusedly at Ian, who is daydreaming.
Ian.
Mike glances over to his personnel manager, 40s.
Ian, do you understand what we just discussed?
Ian snaps out of his daydream.
You're firing me?
We're letting you go.
After the merger, there won't be any extra vacancies at this site. It's nothing personal. Sometimes tough decisions have to be made.
How many people will you let go after the merger?
Ian, change is progress. Without it, you have standstill.
You know, Mike, I've always wondered what assholes do on Saturday nights. You know what they do?
Mike awaits an answer, glances over to the personnel manager, who doesn't know the answer either. Ian's phone rings.
Just hold on a sec.
Ian takes the call and listens with growing concern.
Okay.
He hangs up.
I gotta go.
Ian heads out the door, leaving Mike and the personnel manager confusedly behind.
Did you get that?
Personnel manager shakes his head. Interior, elementary school, principal's office, day. The principal opens a desk drawer, gets out a switchblade, and puts it on the desk. Ian sits in front, Tom next to him, head down.
I'm aware of the difficult circumstances Tom is encountering right now, but that can't be a reasonable excuse to explain the possession of a deadly weapon.
I completely agree. There's no excuse for that kind of behavior. Tom will be punished. I can assure you that.
There's more.
More? Tom, what did you do?
Tom remains silent.
He is also accused of stealing items from various lockers at the school.
Doesn't sound like him, not at all.
Do you have any idea where he might have picked up this extreme behavior? Because Tom refuses to talk.
None.
Young man, do you have anything to say?
Tom?
Ian sees that Tom's eyes slowly well up with tears. He feels sorry for Tom.
I will make him talk at home.
Ian gets up.
We have to go now.
Mr. Harper, to be quite frank with you, I expected a bit more cooperation from your side. At the end of the day, you will be held responsible. If, God forbid, he escalates things.
I understand.
Ian leads Tom out of the door. The principal looks after them, puzzled. Exterior, elementary school, day. Ian and Tom walk toward their car.
Why did you do it?
Tom doesn't react.
Tom!
Joyce and I are a team.
Joyce?
She showed me how to pickpocket and to pick locks.
Tom, stealing is wrong. You can't just steal from other people. How would you feel if somebody stole something from you?
Not good.
Here you go.
Did you ever steal anything?
Yes, I did. And I'm not proud of it. But you're much smarter than I am.
I guess.
Come here.
Ian hugs Tom. Interior, Ian's house, upstairs hallway, night. Ian stands in front of Joyce's room. He knocks. No answer. He tries to open the door, but it's locked.
Joyce, open up, please. I know about you and Tom, and I'm mad. Really mad, actually. But I understand you acting out. I do. Just open up and we can talk about it.
No reaction from inside the room.
I brought pizza. Come down when you're hungry. Good talk. We should do that more often.
Interior, living room, night. Ian comes downstairs. The doorbell rings. Ian opens. 2 police officers, with Joyce in tow, stand before him.
Is this your daughter?
Why?
We caught her ransacking a trailer at the Town's End trailer park.
Is she arrested?
The owner didn't press charges. You're lucky.
Lucky me.
Have a good night, sir.
The cops leave.
What happened?
Nothing.
I know about you and Tom.
Whatever.
I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt when I heard about you and Tom running your little gangster enterprise, but this really takes the cake. You're grounded. 2 weeks.
That's not fair.
3 weeks. Now go to your room.
You're such a hypocrite.
I'm a hypocrite?
You always pretend to be Mr. Nice Guy, but in reality you're just a selfish jerk who only thinks about himself, so spare me the moral sermon.
I took you in and gave you a roof over your head. Show some gratitude.
Because you care so much about me?
I do, believe it or not.
Then how come you haven't asked me once how I feel, what I want, what I care about? Like I said, hypocrite.
I'm trying my best being your father, but you're really not making it easy.
You're not my father. You're just a guy who got laid while my mother was stoned.
And you're the regrettable result that's come out of it.
Screw you.
She storms upstairs.
Joyce, Shit.
Exterior, Ian's house, day. Ian stares at the half-open garage door, trying to figure out how to fix it. He jolts the door back and forth. He looks up. Joyce stands at her window, flipping him off while dialing a number on her phone. Interior, Ian's house, Joyce's bedroom, day. Joyce is on the phone.
You got some balls after what you pulled last night.
It wasn't my fault that you weren't home when you were supposed to.
So you broke in?
It was the first time, and I didn't touch your stash, even though I could have.
That's true.
Shut up.
I need a place to crash.
Joyce glances at a packed sports bag standing next to her door. Her closet is empty. Exterior, Ian's house, day. Ian rattles the garage door again. Suddenly, a snap of a chain is heard from inside. The door slides rapidly up and hits Ian with full force under his chin. Ian flies back and hits the ground.
Ian? Ian, you all right?
Ian looks up, dazed. Jeff, next to him, who helps him up.
Come on, buddy. We gotta get you some ice. Or some frozen peas.
Interior, Jeff's house, living room, day. A marble chimney, dozens of framed pictures of Jeff and his wife Evelyn on the mantelpiece. Ian sits down at the table, looking around.
Hasn't changed much since I was last here.
Yeah, we like it that way.
Jeff comes back with ice. Ian looks confused. Jeff gives him the ice.
Thanks. You were never into gardening before, or big fan of roller skating. Why now?
Evelyn encouraged me.
Okay.
Ian gets up.
Hey, you want to stay for dinner?
I'm busy.
Come on, you can stay for dinner. Bring over Tom and Joyce.
I can't. Thanks for the ice. Helps already.
Ian hurries to the door, freaked out. Exterior, Jeff's house, day. Ian closes the door behind him.
Oh, boy.
Ian stops, sighs, and goes back. He knocks on the door. Jeff opens.
More ice?
I'm good. You remember 4 years ago?
You have to be a bit more specific than that.
Right. It was spring. Actually, a pretty warm day in May. Laura and I came over. We all sat in your living room and asked how you were doing. You said, I'm okay. Then we went to Evelyn's funeral.
Oh, of course I remember. How could I not?
Then what is all this?
You, of all people, should understand. I want to feel close to Evelyn again. She liked gardening, being outdoors. She loved inline skating and was into Italian cuisine. We never did any of it together. That's all there is to it.
Ian completely understands. Interior, Ian's garage, day. Ian sits down on a chair, contemplative. Exterior, Ian's house, front yard, day. Super, 1 year ago. Ian and Laura in mid-conversation.
Ian, you never listen to me.
What did you say? Just kidding.
I never wanted you to buy this house for us. It was your decision.
But you love it here. It's our home, baby.
You want a life?
What question is that?
Do you want a life?
Yes.
We don't even have enough to buy a new fridge, and you're talking about having a life?
Worst husband ever. Guilty on all charges.
You're being unfair.
Who's the one blaming me for our miserable life? I'm working my ass off in this shitty little place.
If you hate it that much, quit. Change your job. Do something else.
Oh, yeah. And how are we supposed to pay for this?
Ian points at the house.
This house is Tom's future, so he can have a better start than I had. My father is a good man, but we never had enough money when I was growing up.
You had a fridge.
Will you forget about the damn fridge? I'm away for weeks at a time so we can build something for us.
You were always a dreamer.
Is that so wrong?
You believe that by holding on to this, it will somehow fix everything. It's not how it works. You're the love of my life. You are, but that's not enough anymore. Just isn't.
Both look at each other, exhausted. They sit down on the porch. A moment of peace, but also a moment when they realize it's over. End of flashback. Interior, Ian's garage, day. Ian still sits on the chair. He spots the sticker-covered cardboard box he retrieved from Laura's wrecked car. He sifts through it, and suddenly stops. One paper attracts his attention. It's a contract with an adoption agency. He studies it for a while.
What the hell?
He dials a number on the contract. Interior, hospital, Nina's room, day. Joyce takes a seat next to her mother's bed.
Hey, Mom. Doesn't look so good, huh? It's kind of strange talking to you like this. But you never listened anyway. I'm sorry. Getting carried away. Maybe Ian is right. It's your own choice what you do in life. You went down your way without asking me or respecting me or... You should have told me that you wanted to change. That you love me.
Joyce wipes her tears and takes her mother's hand.
Goodbye.
Joyce gives her a gentle kiss on the cheek, then leaves without looking back. Interior, Ian's house, living room, night. Ian and Helen sit down on the couch.
Thanks for coming over.
You sounded agitated on the phone. Did something happen?
You can say that. I think Laura wanted to adopt a girl.
A moment.
She just tried to protect our family. She knew I would freak out about Joyce, and maybe the baby too. That's why she didn't tell me, I guess.
That's not true.
How do you know?
Best friends tell each other everything. I knew about the baby.
It's okay.
No, Ian, it's not okay. God, I'm a total mess. My life has been so great in the last year, and now... You were so blind.
What are you talking about?
I was in love with her. She was in love with me for a very long time.
What? You and Laura? You two had an affair?
Ian, you were never there. A week every 3 months isn't how a relationship works. We wanted to adopt a child together.
Ian gets up, paces up and down.
What? No way. Laura loved me.
Yes, she did. She loved you so much that she didn't want to break your heart.
I don't believe it. When did you two start seeing each other?
Ian.
No, tell me. I would like to know when you planned this covert operation and still had time to screw behind my back.
We had been together for a year.
Why didn't you tell me when she died?
I wanted to, but what good would have come of it? You wouldn't have taken it well, would you?
I wouldn't have taken it well. Of course I wouldn't. Who wants to find out his wife is doing other women?
You hadn't slept together in months.
I thought you were my friend. Please, leave. Just go. Just go!
Helen gets up.
I'm sorry.
She leaves. Interior, Helen's apartment, living room, night. Helen, sobbing, sits in front of her laptop, playing the Happy documentary. In the video, as before, a lesbian couple appears.
It's always been a fight and it always will be.
Stop being so serious all the time. She's always so serious.
I'm seriously in love with you.
Helen fast-forwards until Laura jumps in front of the camera.
What are you doing?
Instead of answering, Laura does a cute dance. Helen laughs off screen and then appears before the camera as well. They dance together and kiss.
I love you.
End video. Helen sits in front of the laptop, crying. Interior, Ian's house, living room, night. Ian sits on the couch with a glass of whiskey in his hand, the half-empty bottle in front of him.
A lesbian. That's something.
He looks at his watch.
Joyce!
No answer. Interior, Joyce's bedroom, night. Ian stares into the empty room. He opens the closet, but all her stuff is gone.
Shit.
Interior, living room, night. Ian's on the phone.
It's been a few hours. She must have already been gone when I came home. Can you come over? I'll try to find her.
Of course.
I'll need somebody to drive me. I've had a few drinks.
Art.
You lost our granddaughter?
I didn't lose her.
Is she there?
No.
Then you lost her. I'll be coming with you, but I'm bringing my hacksaw.
What? No hacksaw, Dad, or any other garden tools for that matter.
Okay, but it's your fault if we get jumped in the hood.
Yeah, I'll be on the lookout for any villains from the 1980s.
Interior, Ian's car, night. Art enters the trailer park with Ian in shotgun.
What are we even looking for?
Her mother's trailer.
They reach Nina's trailer. Look around, but it's dark inside. At the end of the road, loud music can be heard. Drunk teenagers yell and laugh. Art drives toward the other trailer. It is Freddy's.
You take the front. I'll cover the back if one of those punks tries to slip away.
Not a mob family. Let's just find her.
You really care about Joyce.
Who do you think I am? Of course I care about her.
Hey, you punched me in the face.
I apologize for it, and it wouldn't have happened if you weren't so stubborn all the time.
I just tell it how it is.
Wouldn't hurt you to tell somebody once in a while when he does something right.
Art parks the car.
Life comes down on you like a hammer. You better be ready for it when it hits because it's gonna hurt. I did my best to prepare you for that.
Art exits.
Let's go.
After a moment, Ian follows. Exterior, trailer, night. Ian and Art enter, passing drunk teens. Interior, trailer, night. Ian and Art make their way through the heavy, intoxicated crowd crammed together inside. Art sees Joyce sit unconscious on a couch in the corner.
Over there.
Joyce, wake up.
She doesn't move. Ian shakes her.
Joyce!
Ian slaps her, but still, nothing.
God, come on!
Freddy and Brad come over.
What are you doing, man?
Ian turns around. Freddy recognizes him.
Hey, I know you.
No, you don't. What did she take?
I'm pretty sure I do.
What did you give her?
Nothing. Nothing, man. That was all her.
Yeah, she's crazy and fun.
Yeah, fun and bitchin' crazy.
Art stares him down.
You're looking at me?
Dude.
Dude, don't dude him.
Art eyeballs Freddy, who takes a step back and falls into a chair behind him.
Look at her, she's baked. I mean, seriously, stoned off her little...
And then comes Art's fist flying into Brad's nose. Exterior, trailer, night. Ian carries Joyce to the car. Art next to them.
You were right. Didn't need the hacksaw.
Joyce starts choking. He puts her down and she vomits into a ditch. Ian holds her hair.
I'm not coming with you.
Yes, you are.
Just leave me alone.
Can't do that.
Screw you.
I'm not leaving you.
Why do you care?
You're my daughter.
She vomits again. A couple of teens stop next to them.
Keep walking.
Interior, Ian's car, night. Art drives, Ian in shotgun. Joyce sleeps in the back.
It's gonna be okay.
Art places a hand on Ian's shoulder, comforting him. Interior, Ian's house, Joyce's bedroom, night. Ian carries the passed-out Joyce to her bed and tucks her in.
Good night.
He walks out, closes the door. Then he hears subdued crying. Ian opens the door again. Joyce, crying a river, looks up from her bed. Ian sits down next to her. A moment passes. Then she swings her arms around him and continues to cry her heart out.
My mom died.
I'm so sorry.
My mom is dead.
It's gonna be okay.
She's not coming back.
I know. I got you. I got you.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Interior, living room, day. Ian is on the phone.
Ms. Wright, this is Ian Harper. Do you have a minute?
Interior, Joyce's bedroom, day. A knock on the door. Ian comes in. Joyce lies in bed. Ian places a glass of orange juice on the bedside table. Joyce glances back and forth between Ian and the glass, then takes a gulp. She smirks.
Want to hear something funny?
I don't know.
You can even make fun of me.
Go on.
Turns out, my wife was a lesbian and she was leaving me for another woman.
Huh.
Yep.
Joyce takes a drink.
I talked to Ms. Wright. I know why you ended up in juvie. What I don't know is why you stole the money from all those people.
Joyce hesitates.
You can trust me.
Wanted to help out some friends at the trailer park. The company owning the land under the trailers jacked up the rent.
The people own the trailer, right?
Duh, but not the property.
But you stole the money from Freddy.
For his own good, he'd spend it all on drugs, not his rent. I wanted to give him and some others a break.
How much money are we talking about?
Too much.
Does your mom have insurance on her trailer?
Why?
Okay. But this will be the last time. No exceptions. Ever.
Exterior, Nina's trailer, day. A fire engine hoses the burned-out trailer. Ian, Joyce, and Tom watch, standing next to their car. Joyce holds a framed picture of her and her mom in her hands. Interior, Ian's car, day. Ian's car screeches to a halt. Joyce drives. Ian next to her, scared. Tom sits in the back. The car rumbles on, then stops, and continues. Then stops, and continues.
Well, that wasn't so bad for a start.
Can I drive?
No, you concentrate on what you're going to say.
Exterior, playground, day. Tom and a boy his age are standing together.
I'm sorry for punching you.
It's all right. Your mom is dead.
What about yours?
The boy glances over to his mother, looking very much alive next to Ian.
Don't even think about asking a stupid question like that.
Exterior, suburban house, day. Ian rings the bell. Tom stands next to him, nervous. Joyce waits in the car. A woman, Rachel's mom, opens.
Hi, is Rachel here? Tom would like to say something to her.
Rachel?
Rachel approaches shyly, stops next to her mother.
I'm sorry I stole your history book, and your pen, and your shoes.
It's okay.
Tom keeps quiet, so Ian feels the need to jump in.
I'm Ian.
I'm angry.
Kids, huh?
Rachel's mom looks at him, stone-faced. Exterior, rundown house, day. Ian and Tom stand in front of a heavily tattooed guy and his bully son.
I'm sorry I stole your knife.
The tattooed guy crosses his arms in front of his belly and eyeballs Ian.
I think we'd better get going. Nice meeting you, folks. Start the engine. Start the engine.
Interior, Dr. Green's office, day. Ian sits opposite Dr. Green on his chair.
I tried to kill myself. Didn't even think about the consequences. That I would lose Tom and my parents. I just couldn't accept that Laura is gone. In our first meeting, you asked me about the last memorable moment with her. I couldn't remember one.
Ian looks around.
Are you happy? You look like the guy who should be happy.
He spots a framed family photo.
Good looking, gorgeous family, nice house, a boat. That's a nice boat.
Everybody has his ups and downs, but in general, yes, I'm happy.
Always?
No one can be happy all the time. There's no recipe, but you always have a choice what you're going to do with your life. You just have to do it.
Interior, Ian's house, montage. Ian in front of the open closet, full of Laura's clothes. A moment, before he grabs a box and puts the clothes in. Ian at the chest of drawers empties Laura's lingerie, her socks and stockings, into another box. Bathroom, Ian cleans out Laura's belongings. Bathrobe at the door, makeup, curling iron on a hamper. Ian, Joyce, Tom, and Rachel paint the house. Ian takes down pictures. The house is completely empty now. Ian takes Tom and Joyce in his arms, looking content. End montage. Interior, Ian's garage, day. Ian packs the last items of Laura's painting equipment into boxes. One of the boxes is the sticker-covered cardboard box he retrieved from Laura's wrecked car. Ian stops for a moment, before retrieving a big envelope together with a page of children's pictures from the adoption agency. He peeks into the envelope. Wads of money in it. Probably around 30 grand. Ian looks outside. Tom and Joyce chase each other with squirt guns, laughing, having fun. On the front lawn is a for sale sign. He looks at the money again, undecided. Interior, exterior, Ian's car, day. Ian drives down a road towards an abandoned industrial building. He stops, drumming his fingers on the steering wheel. Then a smile runs across his face. Interior, Ian's parents' house, living room, night. Martha and Art sit at the table. Ian stands in front.
You what?
It's all good. That's what I want.
Why would you do that? You put so much blood and sweat into buying the house. Now you have the insurance money.
That's not enough.
It's just shy of 30 grand. It should be more than enough.
That's not what he meant.
Martha smiles.
I'm so proud of you.
Exterior, backyard, night. Ian sits on the porch, enjoying the calm. Art comes out and sits down next to him. He pulls out a pack of cigarettes and offers Ian one.
I'm good.
Art lights his cigarette.
Can I ask you something? What did Laura say about me when you talked to her?
Marriage is hard work. Have to put in the hours. You didn't put in the hours. I'm paraphrasing.
Smart woman.
Art nods.
You still want to go into business with me?
What?
I run the office and meet with customers, and you're responsible for the production part.
You're serious?
I found a nice place to set up shop. We could start next week, and I even know what our first project would be.
Interior, Ian's apartment, Tom's bedroom, day. Ian cleans up dog poop from the new wooden floor. Tom and Rachel stand next to him. A Labrador puppy runs around in circles.
It's not his fault.
He's shitting peanuts. You fed him peanuts.
He likes them.
He really does.
Please, no more nuts for the dog.
The doorbell rings. Ian heads out the door.
Is your dad always so cranky?
Tom nods.
Peanut, sit. Sit, Peanut, sit.
The dog doesn't obey, wags its tail. Interior, Ian's apartment, hallway, day. Ian opens the door. Helen is in front, a bottle of wine in hand.
Glad you could make it.
Glad you invited me.
Helen hands him the bottle of wine.
A little something.
Thanks.
An awkward moment.
I finished my first documentary. Mike Cargo and the Japanese Connection.
Sounds promising.
What's that smell?
Burn the meatloaf. I ordered pizza. Come here already.
Ian gives her a hug. Interior, kitchen, day. Ian, Martha, Art, and Helen are around the table. Everybody has finished eating.
So, what's the documentary about?
Mike Cargo and his dubious financial ties to Japanese business lenders. It reveals some pretty interesting things.
I bet. You're a lesbian, huh?
Helen nods.
Art!
What? Just curious.
Oh, you're unbelievable.
What did I do?
Unbelievable.
What did I do?
I'm sorry.
Ian gets 2 beers out of his new fridge. Tom appears in the door.
Rachel's mom is here.
Interior, hallway, day. Ian approaches Rachel's mom, who waits at the front door.
Nice apartment.
I'm an architect.
Okay.
Ian smiles at her.
What?
Nothing. Everything is good.
Ian is still smiling. She smiles back. They connect.
Dad?
Huh?
What's a pro?
He's such a curious child.
Kids.
Joyce enters through the front door.
That's one of them.
He looks at his watch.
My daughter, Joyce.
Hi.
Always late, never on time.
Yep, that's me. By the way, I'm knocked up.
Peanut barks. Ian's jaw drops. Fade out.